Well, good morning and welcome to our TANF SME Group's webinar for today. We thank each of you for taking time out of your schedules to join in with us. Today, we are tackling the MMR and engagement reports presented by Javetta Flory of Region 8. We're super excited to bring this content to you. Javetta's been working on it for a while with our group, and we are very excited to get into it today. So before we get started, though, I'd like to introduce myself. I'm Teray Donaldson, Welfare Transition and SNAP Program Manager with Region 1. I'm also honored and humbled to currently serve as our chair lady for the TANF SME Group. Such an amazing group of program managers and supervisors for WT across the state and across regions, and just an awesome group to be a part of. So I have the privilege of serving alongside our co-chair lady who's here with us this morning, Rachel Paymer of Region 20. Rachel, would you like to unmute and share a greeting with everyone this morning?
Sure. Good morning, everyone. Rachel Paymer, Region 20. I'm the Welfare Transition and SNAP Program Manager in Region 20, which is St. Lucie County, Martin County, and Indian River County. Welcome, everybody. Our group is wonderful. We're always looking for new participants, new members. So definitely hope to see you all again. Thank you for coming.
Yes. And Rachel, if you don't mind, please drop your email in the chat. If maybe you're a program manager or supervisor and you haven't been participating with this group, feel free to reach out directly to Rachel, and we'll add you to our mailing lists and our invites for future meetings, and begin to start that process of collaborating with your region. Well, we're going to acknowledge just a few more people before we introduce our presenter for this morning. I'd also like to introduce Ben Vandernick of Region 18. Ben, in addition to his regular duties in his region, he is our tech support, tech specialist, our consultant. Ben is the secret ingredient for the group. So there you have it. There's our secret. But
Thanks,
Ben makes all the magic happen. Behind the scenes, he maintains our YouTube channel, and he ensures that all of our presentations and our content are neatly packaged, so that we can bring webinars such as this one to you. So Ben, thank you for all that you do. Would you like to share a quick greeting with everyone this morning?
Thanks for being here, everybody. I appreciate it. I'm with Career Source Suncoast, Sarasota, and Manatee counties.
Awesome. All right. Well, thank you, Ben. And we would also like to acknowledge all of the amazing program managers and supervisors that are faithful with this group, from the weekly meetings to the collaboration for webinars and sharing other best practices and other things that we're involved with. So I'd like to acknowledge them now. We won't do it by region number, but I'm just going to refer to the list of attendees. So if I miss anyone, Rachel, please correct me, or we'll get to it at the end. But some of those that are actively involved with the group that are here today, we thank you. Those include Altamise Gay Carter. We also have Carlos Watford on with us. Good morning, Carlos. We thank you. Denise Miranda. We also have, let's see who else. Jamie Connolly is here with us. Good morning, Jamie. We thank you for being on. And let's take a look and see who else we may have here. Of course, we've got Julie Ramirez. I saw Julie earlier this morning. Good morning, Julie. Kathleen Danclair. Kathleen's been with us since the beginning, so good morning. Hey, we said Kathleen's one of our founding members. So glad you're here, Kathleen. We've also got Leah Chapman and Lily Cotto. Good morning to both of you. Lisa Varela and Marvetta K. Gordon. Good morning, and thank you for being on. We've also got Melissa Rust, who's my neighbor in a neighboring region. Good morning, neighbor.
Good morning.
And let's see who else. Want to make sure I don't miss anyone. We've actually got quite a few people on with us this morning, which is just awesome. We see Shing Wood is here. Shing is actively involved with the group, as well as Tammy Pumphrey. Good morning to you both. And Teresa Chester and Tiffany Johnson are here with us. Good morning. We thank them. And I believe we got Vera Brown. Good morning, Vera. But I believe those are all of the program managers and supervisors. Did I miss anyone? Anyone actively involved with the group? All right. Well, we thank you so much for your participation with the work that we do. We have a group of people that are just equally passionate about the work that we do. And I mean, it's just amazing. But just wanted to acknowledge them quickly and thank you to everyone that brought members of your team today. So we thank you for that. I see that several members of my team are here today. So I'm just going to ask that you use your virtual reaction. Just raise your hand if you're from Region 1. Hey, we can't have you stand up, but if you can, just raise your hand and you'll see them. If you refer to your people tab, you'll see some of the people from Region 1 that are here. And while we're using that virtual option, we'll just say that we would like for today's webinar to be interactive. So feel free to check out the reactions. It's probably your third option in on your menu. Feel free to use those throughout the training today. If you want to clap, if you want to smile, or if you want to maybe give a heart to our presenter, feel free to do that as well. But again, thank you to everyone that's on. It looks like we've got about 59 people here. Wow. How amazing is that? So thank you to Rachel and the group. We have really grown our members. We've grown in engagement. So, I mean, it's awesome to see 59 people on with us to hear the amazing Javetta Fleury. Javetta is just an absolute joy to work with in the group. We learned so much from her. If you've been to the summit, you may have heard her present there. We had an awesome opportunity in 2021 to co-present together, members of our group. And if you have not heard Javetta present, you are in for a treat today. So I'm not going to delay it any further. We're going to turn it over to Javetta Fleury of Region 8 in Jacksonville, and she's going to present content to us today about the MMR and engagement reports. Feel free to, again, use your reactions throughout the presentation. If you have questions, feel free to place those in the chat, and if time allows, we'll try to address some of those questions. Myself and Rachel and Kathleen will monitor the chat. And if for some reason we run out of time, we will still reach out to you to follow up with some answers to your questions. So without any further ado, I'll pass the virtual mic on to Javetta.
Good morning, everyone. Teray, no pressure at all, right? You just like,
None.
I'm feeling so much pressure right now.
No pressure, Javetta.
I feel a lot of pressure, but thank you everyone for joining us. I just want to give a quick praise report, and this is a praise report. So we just finished our DEO monitoring on last week, and we had 0 findings in TANF and SNAP programs. Only 1 O&I in my TANF program. Yes. So yeah, so it's hard for me to contain myself in this seat right now. But thank you all for being here. And our goal always is just to try to help each other. Now, when I can get that performance up like 22, woo-wee, that's what we're doing. And so that's why we're here. We're here to help each other, to give good tips, and to try to find ways to improve our performance and efficiency. So I'm going to turn off my camera because that'll make me even more nervous when she told me how many people was on the call. So I'm going to turn off my camera so I can do this presentation. So I want to welcome you to the Welfare Transition Informational Session on the Monthly Management Report, also called the MMR, and the OSTI Engagement Report. This session is designed to provide you an overview of two reports that may be beneficial to you as you manage your caseload. We are aware that OSTI is going to sunset sometime in the near future, but until then, and until that occurs, we want to provide training and information that will help you increase efficiency and improve the program outcomes. So let's get started. You can locate the Monthly Management Report, or MMR, on the Department of Economic Opportunities website under the Workforce Development Board Resource tab by clicking on the State Program tab, and then you would click to the Monthly Management Report. This will open the report. Or you can find it in the one-stop tracking system, the OSST, under reporting. You would click on external reports. Using the drop-down, click MMR tab, and using the other drop-downs for your region and the reporting period, you will find the reporting information. This version of the MMR will provide a regional detail report to include the participants' names, such as their information, and their codes associated with them, such as 03, 99, 65, 66, etc., as seen on the AGPI screen in the Florida system. This is what the report in OSTI will look like. This will assist you in identifying anomalies, such as cases in your denominator that should not be included. Examples could be, say, a person who has been coded 65. The birth has been reported, but is still showing up in your denominator. You should follow your region's process for notifying DCF so that they can remove this from your denominator, because it will count in your participation. Measure 1 is what you're seeing now, and that is the welfare transition entered employment rate. This performance measure is calculated using the employment entered on the skill development page in the OSST system. Requirements for entering employment is documentation such as the work number or an employment verification form, which should be housed in your case file. Always ensure that the case file documents, the case note, the information entered on the skill development page in OSST matches. Note, the job tracking start date cannot be entered before the referral date, and the job tracking date is the date you will begin counting this activity for JPRs. The Monthly Management Report, or MMR, contains monthly performance data as a cumulative performance data for measures contained in each regional workforce board. The report contains data that represent only those transactions that are entered into the OSST system during a given month for the Welfare Transition Program. The report is designed as a management tool to assist the local boards in tracking their individual performance on a monthly rather than quarterly basis. The information in this report is captured from the OSST system on the 16th of the month for the previous month. This will change when we move to Employ Florida later this year. Measure 2, which is the welfare transition entered employment rate. In this measure, the yellow represents the average hourly wage entered from the OSTI skill development page when you enter into the employment, and the blue represents the regionally adjusted lower living standard income level, the LLSIL, for a family of 3. The goal is to assist your participants with earning at or above the LLSIL wages listed for your region. When entering employment wages, ensure that you do not enter wages that are less than minimum wage. This is most important for employment that receive tips. Measure 3, which is the Welfare Transition Federal All Family Participation Rate. That's the one we woosah over. The All Family Participation Rate will include both PA and UP families. To maximize performance, it is important to ensure that all participants are assigned the minimum required hours in accountable activity. Monthly participation hours are based on JPR entries in OSST. Hours must be updated in a timely manner. The month a participant is referred, or if they have received a partial payment, that case should not be counting on the reoccurring benefit payroll. Thus, it should not be included in the participation rate for that month. So just in case I screwed that up a little bit, if a person has a partial payment for that month, they would not count in this measure. During this information session, we will explore work eligibility and some of the causes that may negatively affect the performance outcomes. A work eligible adult is usually coded 03 on the AGPI screen in the Florida system. This person has been referred and should be assigned to accountable work activity when applicable. A non-recipient parent living with a recipient child, think protective payee for a level 2 or a level 3 sanction. For an example, Janet receives a level 3 sanction. She requests a protective payee, her mother Agnes. Though Janet may not count for the months she is serving her penalty, once she has served her penalty period, she can participate in the program, usually in the form of a compliance activity first. Because it has been more than 30 days since she was referred, she may also need to reapply for benefits with the Department of Children and Families. So who is excluded from the definition of work eligible? A minor child that is not head of household, a non-citizen who is ineligible to receive assistance due to his or her immigration status, a recipient of SSI benefits, a parent caring for a disabled family member, and a parent with a child under the age of 90, coded 65 on the AGPI screen. So these are the people who should not be counting and who should not will not be counting towards your participation. A sanction. So a sanction is a reduction or termination of a family's benefits due to a failure to comply with the program's requirement. To understand the sanction as it pertains to your performance for a particular month, let's review this example. An individual fails and the case manager requests a level 1 sanction on April 10th, 2022. The sanction won't become effective until May 1st, 2022. The participant didn't have good cause for the failure, but is allowed to comply on April 16th, 2022, which is allowable for a level 1 sanction. Although the individual has complied and may remain in compliance, DCF will prorate the May benefits for the month of May from May 1st to May 10th. Because the benefit was reduced, this family, the individual will be removed from the May denominator because they were subject to a sanction or they were sanctioned. In the all family participation rate, the numerator represents, that is the number of eligible participants that actually met participation based on the family type. The denominator represents the number of work eligible participants that are counting for the month and should be an accountable work activity, minus the people that were sanctioned before pull down. Pull down occurs 10 days before the end of the month. You can find the pull down dates in the Florida system under RFDI and then the little semicolons TBIC, and that's the table benefit issuance control date. And it will give you a list of all of the pull down dates. In the all family participation rate, this is the minimum requirement, which you see above, to meet the numerator requirements based on the family type. This does not mean that local areas cannot require more for their participants. Some local areas have a policy where each adult is required to participate 35 hours or 40 hours per week. But for the purpose of this training, we will focus on the minimum requirements, which are listed above. Participation for teen parents. A teen is classified as a participant 19 years old or younger. Teens without a high school diploma or GED, it is important to remember that if a teen does not have a high school diploma or GED, and that they attend a school or an approved alternative training program, they will be deemed if the program requirements for the full participation in the program or school is less than 87 required hours. Example, Mary is in her 12th year at Jackson High School. She has most of her high school credits, but just requires 2 more classes for graduation. Those classes equal a total of 26 hours for the month. If the participant attends class and the institution provides documentation for the case file, the 26 hours will have met participation for the month. Keep in mind, some regions may still require her to do more, but she will have met participation for the month. Teen parents with a high school diploma or GED will be treated as AP or UP families and are subject to the same monthly requirements. It is important to know if a person, and so we want to talk about the 2-parent family minimum participation requirements, which are listed above. It is important to know if a participant is receiving federally funded childcare. Participants sometimes will have childcare through another program that is federally funded and may not be entered into OSTI, but will still be counting by DCF. So it's important to know if your participants have federally funded childcare, even if you were not the people who gave it to them. When the child care is entered by the local workforce board, it is on the skill development page in OSTI under service type. The child care code 640 is reported to DCF and is calculating for the participation rate. And just a side note, we have participants sometimes that because of some other program they were in may have gone to Early Learning Coalition and already have child care when they come to us. That's reported to DCF. So even though we did not provide that child care, it's important to know that they have it because it will be counted as a 2-parent household receiving federally funded child care. So I know that was a lot. Why is this important? As you know, the goal of each regional workforce board is to obtain or exceed the federal participation rate threshold. For the welfare transition program, that is 50%. For the all family, which includes the participants in the 2-parent household, and 90% for just 2-parent household. I'm going to say that again, just so that we make sure we understand that for the welfare transition program, that is 50% for all families, which include the participants in the 2-parent household as well. And 90% is only for the 2-parent household. The 50% and 90% participation thresholds are met by participants being in a core and or core plus activity for the required hours based on the family type. Listed are the work activities that are acceptable according to the Florida Verification Plan based on federal law and regulations. Participants must participate in work activities for not less than the minimum number of hours required under federal law. The amount of time in a work activity cannot exceed that permitted under federal law or regulation. There are special conditions, however, within the work activities that could negatively impact your participation rate, such as a participant being in a core plus activity only, or being in job search more than the limited 4 consecutive weeks at one time. The other condition could be vocational training. A participant who has been in vocational training more than 12 months in a lifetime that they're on TANF. With job search and vocational training, it is important to review the case skill development page to see if the participant can be placed in these activities. Another valuable report is the engagement report. This report can be accessed in the OSST system. On the right side of the OSST screen, it can be located under Reporting tab. Then you click on the engagement report. In order to pull your region's full data set, you must include all regions, all counties, and all units. Otherwise, you will receive a numerical regional breakdown of data, but not a full report with names. So what is the engagement report and what information can you gain from the engagement report? Once you are here, you can click on MN to view the open mandatory cases, PA to view your open applicant cases, and TS to view your transitional cases. Keep in mind that for the MN cases, which is your mandatory cases, you may not be seeing, if you are not seeing a case on the engagement report, it may be that that case has been closed for a sanction or for other reasons and may not appear on the engagement report. The report will open in an Excel document, which will provide you an opportunity to edit the data as you see fit. You can highlight your cases and delete information that you do not need. Using the engagement report can be useful to see your open cases that are on the reoccurring benefits page, meaning the cases that are counting for participation for the month. You are able to identify at a glance most of the reporting tabs in OSST and search tab options. This is a very large report, which is why I couldn't pull it up and show you the report on today. From this report, you can see in one screen the cases that are in core and core plus activities, the start date of those activities, and the hours that are assigned. Which of your cases are deferred, who has supportive services, those that are in pre-penalties with the start dates. In addition, you are able to review demographic information that can be useful. For example, if you wanted to send all of your customers without a high school diploma or GED, information on an upcoming training program that may benefit them. Or if you wanted to send all of your deferred customers information on the voc rehab services. These are some of the ways that you are able to utilize this report. So what are some of the common participation rate questions? Question 1. I have a 2-parent family that completed all of the required hours. How could they meet the 2-parent participation rate, but not the all-parent participation rate? Look to see if at least one of the parents completed 87 core hours and 130 total. If this is not the case, it's possible that the parents split the required hours evenly and participated as required, but neither met the 87 or 130 threshold to be included in the all-family participation rate. Question 2. Well, I have a single parent who completed 120 total hours. Why is it not showing that they are in the numerator? In this instance, if the remaining hours are non-core or core plus, make sure that all of the core hours were completed. If not, the case will not be included in the numerator. Okay, I seem to have lost my way. So that was kind of where I wanted to end, with just some questions there. I am finished. I hope that you were able to get, as our illustrious leader would say to Ray, some nuggets from here. I hope that you found something new, you heard something that you may not have heard before. And that is the conclusion of our training today on the MMR and the engagement reports. Thank you so much for your time.
Awesome job as always, Javetta. Thank you so much. Didn't Javetta do a great job? Hey, let's give her some virtual applause, some hearts, share some feedback. Hey, we can't see everyone, we can't hear everyone, but hey, we can definitely see your reactions. And wow, look, Javetta, the crowd is going wow, absolutely wow. Yes, so we thank you guys for tuning in and staying attentive with us. I always learn something from my peers, especially Javetta. Javetta always shares her knowledge and her experience, and I mean, such great content here. It really helps us to connect the dots to see where we all fit into the bigger picture of engaging our clients across regions and meeting those requirements that are set for each and every one of us across the state. So thank you again, Javetta. Fantastic job. Again, Javetta is program manager, supervisor for WT in Region 8, Jacksonville. If you do have any questions, let's see, I think we may have had one hand up. Not sure if it's still up. No. I took a look in the chat, Javette. I did not see any questions, but Kathleen, let me defer to you. Did I miss anything?
No, you did not. That hand that you saw was mine. I was trying to clap and I ended up raising the hand.
Gotcha. All right. Thank you. All right. Well, we don't see any questions for today. However, Rachel Paymer, our co-chair, she's placed her email address in the chat. So if you do end up having a question, maybe after you jump off, you think of something that maybe you wanted to inquire about, we'll just ask that you reach out to Rachel Paymer, co-chair lady. She's in Region 20. Again, her email is in the chat, and she will coordinate with Javetta and the rest of our team and ensure that we reply back to you with an answer. But hopefully this information is helpful to you and your region, as we're all trying to do the same thing. We're trying to navigate and ensure that we're meeting our benchmarks and requirements statewide. This training, we hope that you'll be able to use it as a refresher, maybe for some of your existing staff, whether they're here or not. You know, we can maybe use that for existing people. And for the program managers and supervisors, Ben maintains our YouTube channel, so hopefully you can go back and use this content in the event you're onboarding new staff. And that's what we intend to do. We intend to meet some of our internal training needs. That's one of our goals as a group. So just know that there is a YouTube channel. And actually, we're going to ask Ben, if you could please unmute just quickly and tell us just a little bit about the YouTube channel.
Sure, absolutely. So it's part of the FWADA COO group that originally put this group together. So I'll put the link in the chat, and when you go to it, it's going to say FWADA FWDA COO group, and there'll be a playlist of all of our videos that you can go back and watch since we started doing this. But if you have any questions about it, I'll also throw my email in the chat, and you can get with me.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Ben.
Sure.
As Ben mentioned, actually the COO group got us started. So if you've joined us for some of the previous webinars, we always do a shout out to the COO group. Actually, CEO Josh Matlock envisioned this group and pulled us together. So we always like to acknowledge Josh and Christine Sikora, who's VP in Kathleen's region. Is that Region 11, Kathleen?
Yes, it is.
Yes, so we always acknowledge them for getting us started and bringing this group together. And wow, look at how it's grown. I think today showed us just how much the group has grown. We ended up with a total of 60 people here, Javetta. So just wanted to let you know. So I think that's fantastic. As we wrap up, just wanted to check back in with our co-chair. Rachel, is there anything that we forgot or anything that you'd like to add before we leave today?
No, just want to thank everybody for coming, and stay tuned to the next webinar that we'll be doing. We'll make sure that we give you all plenty of notice. So everybody have a wonderful day. Thank you for coming, and back to you, Teray.
All right, well, that's it. We won't prolong the time. We realize everyone's got a lot to do and probably a lot on your plates. But again, as Rachel said, stay tuned. We've got some more trainings and webinars that we're working on as we speak. And we hope to present that content to you very soon. So please stay tuned for your invite. Thank you again for being here with us today. Thank you again to Javetta for bringing this awesome presentation to us. And we hope that everyone has a wonderful rest of your day. And we look forward to seeing you at our next presentation. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.